Yeah, what's going on there, folks? Earthmaster here, checking in real quick on this Thursday morning, June 18th, 2020, 7:55 a.m. West Coast time, and just a little short time ago, right around the Kermadec Trench area, which is part of the Ring of Fire, Pacific Ring of Fire. They had a pretty significant sized earthquake, a 7.4 magnitude quake there. Looks like 4.9 being an aftershock with that latest earthquake there on the globe. Been pretty active out here for the most part in this general region, and also to the well to the northwest of here, over towards the Indonesia Islands area. We've seen quite a bit of uptick in earthquakes here, but this here, kind of interesting activity there. That 4.9 that just struck there is really super deep there, 616 kilometers below the surface there. That, like I mentioned, that earthquake there, aftershock, if you will, taking place after that 7.4. The 7.4 itself, not super deep. Of course, no tsunami was generated with this quake. This struck about 10 kilometers below the surface in this Kermadec Trench region, which is capable of producing a little bit larger earthquakes here and subsequent tsunamis if you get into those larger magnitudes. But definitely no tsunami with that one there. So interesting activity nonetheless here. 5.6, that's kind of an older earthquake. I was looking at the older quakes here prior to the larger one. There was some surface quaking up here towards Fiji, right along that trench, at least the north part of it. But no major quakes there prior to that. Just looks like there was a couple 5-pointers. But yeah, pretty crazy day. Interesting way to start off early Thursday morning, but Mother Nature will do what she wants, whenever she wants, I suppose. Hold on one second here. Yeah, it looks like quite a few folks, at least around that region, reported feeling it. I don't know what type of islands specifically are out there. But historical seismic activity shows an enormous amount of earthquake activity out there in the I guess, I keep saying Kermadec. I guess you can say Kermadec. There's a couple different pronunciations on it. One of my many pronunciations of different words, but I checked this. I already looked this one up, and there's two different ways you could say it. So Kermadec and Kermadec Island. So actually, I think I should stick with Kermadec. Sounds a little bit better, right? So that 4.9, looking on this scale of a map, on the flat Earth scale, you can see this was kind of a considerable distance away from the original 7.4. We're looking at probably, oh man, over 200 miles or so. Right around 300 to 400 miles to the northwest, a ways away from the Kermadec Trench. But this is kind of where this area right here, this kind of subductant area, is where we see those deeper earthquakes here on the west side of this trench area, and that's kind of expected following that 7.4, that we would see some downward subduction quake happening. It could mean that there's something building up more, a little bit more. We'll have to see. But like I said, an 8-pointer or so within this region is not out of the question. Looks like there's been a couple throughout history, according to Wikipedia. So just be safe out there. New Zealand is right there, right? Looks like Auckland is just to the south, probably 300 miles or so of that 7.4. Once you start getting into the 8.0 magnitudes or greater at shallow depths, then you start seeing the potential for tsunamis, and that would not be good for the folks there of the New Zealand area. Anyway, continuing to watch it. I do have a couple stations pulled up. May have to stretch one over there towards that region. I noticed that the earthquake 3D bells were left off all night. That has since been corrected. And yeah, I guess I forgot to turn those on when I was doing that little discussion about Yellowstone. So anyway, stay safe out there, folks. Yellowstone is still on the market. As far as me taking a trip out there, it's going to be happening pretty soon, probably potentially early next week. Looks like it's still pretty cold up there, so I'm kind of hoping it warms up. Although I could use some nicer weather. Today it's supposed to be about 100 degrees here where I live, so a little trip up there sounds pretty enjoyable. Anyway, folks, have a good, safe day out there. We'll chat to you guys a little bit later.